My friends, welcome. How you doing? Habits here. Hope you're all excellent. I know I'm doing well, and we're diving right back in. Toehold on Eternity. Our toehold is in the Nether, and we're drilling our way down around a Bastion Remnant right now, which is kind of a fun little side gathering project that we've got going. The end of the last episode, as you may recall, if you've come directly from it, we had uh, just done these two layers of nether rack clearing and are now set to take out the bit of the bastion. You come on, man! I hate those little guys. They're it's kind of an ongoing, I don't know if you'd call it a meme really, but it's just a common thing that uh, with ghasts, I don't know if it's the way the game is built in to accommodate them and keep them a little more, but and you guys have seen it in this world in my play with some of the caves when you're like shooting arrows at a creeper, right? You'll have them coming up towards you, backing away, pop an arrow at him, and it goes right through. It's like, oh, what went right through him? Uh, Not so big a deal for us at this point because it just, we just draw again. If you're backpedaling and you're not trapped or something, you're going to be able to get them with the next shot. And for us, that's pretty much a one-shot kill. So not a huge deal, but there are certain mobs that really um, are notorious for good arrow shots just not going in, right? And the ghasts are prime example. Pretty much anything that has built into it maneuvering and dodging. So skeletons and um, ghasts, they just kind of float and bob around there. But yeah, those ghasts always seem to know how to just bob it at the right moment. The baby piglins, though, man, they seem to have it all. They have that. They have a lot of durability, so you got to hit them a couple times to drop them. It's awful. But that's not going to let us get down, right? Or we are going to get down. I'm going to get down this Bastion Remnant. We're expecting that this staircase that we're exposing here is going to kind of curve back because all the noise has been under that wall. And from what I can see, if there's any place that it makes sense for this bastion to expand into, I think it would be that way. That's kind of the solid landmass, one or the other of those two sides, probably. Who knows, right? But as much as we've been able to look back under that open side, we haven't seen a lot of mass sticking out. So I don't know that it's going to go in that direction. It would be kind of nice if it did, just for the sake of ghasts. But if we get down below any overhang of nether, then even if we're shooting ghasts, all the tears are going to drop in the lava and we'll never get any benefit from them. So they'll just become a huge troll, really. Like, oh, we got to deal with that. Which is one of the reasons why I kind of cut in this perimeter, and I think we'll try to maintain it around whatever the base is. If we're working our way down and it's exposed in lava, we'll just run, as we get down below, we'll reach up and put nether on this 5-block perimeter, so that if we find we're down at or around lava level and want to do something with this spawning area for piglins, because they're going to keep spawning here. Even when we erase all of the bastion, these blocks, and didn't check this. So it's still a nether waste, but like the nether fortress, there's a footprint in the game, in the map, that says this is Bastion. And so piglins will spawn here at a high rate, and that's pretty handy. In case we ever want a lot of cooked pork. Leather is nice. They drop that. And they drop, like some gold nuggets and stuff like that too. So I think this is our point where let's do an edge here. I think this will keep us. I think that'll give me enough time. I'm going to see it, know it's coming. And then we're going to cut our stairs on this side and go around, see how far down that takes us and how far we have to go. But that means that all the rest of this, and we'll do, let's do a 3 wide. I think that'll be nice. But yeah, I do hope this expands out in a direction soon. Otherwise, we're not going to have much of a. It's going to be a steep and narrow hole. There we go. Oh. Low hole in our wall. Pretty good stuff here. We've got all kinds of goodies to go. See, I keep hearing them. I want to find you guys, and I really think you're under here, so I suspect that's going to be our expansion of this area. What's that? This is east? Check out that sense of direction. There was no cheating there. I really didn't. I was thinking back, like, all right, which way are portals when we come through, and sunrise in the overworld, and which way did we come? It's good to try to at least keep that in mind. And you guys see, I get turned around all the time. When we were cutting the trees over in the forest at the beginning of this trip, I was, clearing out and leaving a big thing because it's easy when you get into those trees and stuff. Mob starts coming, you don't know which way to go back to get home quickly. So thinking about that as much as possible as you're going, I will run down and get that lantern too before we forget about it and let it despawn. They're nice to have a few of. Usually then I end up, just making a bunch whenever I'm going to use them, and it's not a very big help, but rather than having to, track down iron nuggets and all that stuff. Now we just got it. There's another one. All part of the fun of cleaning up these structures. And out. There we go. What do we think? Should we go a little steeper on our stairs? See what we can define, and then do a few few layers of everything, just for variety, right? Throws a bit more risk into it too than just skimming it off a layer at a time. I like to have a bit of the structure, and I hope when we get around to the far side, we're actually going to clip some building if we're going down this deep. Well, only one way to find out, but not to mention could get some more quartz here at any time. Be okay with that. There we go. Just what we needed. Ooh, and some gold, which I don't know if we're still likely to aggro the piglins from above our head now, or if we've gone down deep enough, but we'll fill in these few little gaps. Alright, before we start losing gold blocks, let's go up. Oh, wrong box. Okay, those are all done. Yeah, we're gonna go quick here. That's when I said I was at the end of the last episode when I was talking about this one. I think we've got this episode, and I don't think we're going to even have all of that time before our shulkers are full, and we've got to just turn back and go manage inventory. And that'll be a good break, right? We'll have done a bunch on this. It doesn't, it's not an urgency kind of project. It's just a good thing to be able to work at while we're doing things like building silos in our base and all those pieces to have something that's a little different. In this case, it's definitely more of a explore and gather feel than street adventure, but right on cue, I think these guys are going to do their best to keep us entertained. And when we get done with this 3-deep channel, our little wall here will be pretty obvious too, and that'll be nice. Speed up the future layers, as it were. There we go. Just a matter of time. Ooh. Hadn't had one of those in a while. A nether invisible block. Coincided with a swarm of piglins, I suspect. That should be really good. fill up on this stuff here. Then when we start to take down the structure here for these 3 layers, that could all despawn before we got back to it. And I don't know that at this point that would be a major tragedy, losing a bunch of netherrack, but there's a part of me that always says, waste not, want not, right? Let's... never find ourselves lacking it. And while I don't have anything in mind, specifically, netherrack makes for nether bricks, and whether it's an expansion of our wither skelly farm, or any other little projects, that's now this is also where we're potentially going back under our own feet. But I think we'll be okay without having to, like clear up above. So I want to maintain this whole, extend the cut into the netherrack around the outside of the building, unlike what we did last time. As this goes out this way or that way or whichever way, we'll start kicking the walls out in those directions. But we're not going to then raise it all the way back up again, I don't think. Because the spawn rates will be lower the closer... Ooh. Okay, those were just chiseled bricks, but look at this gold. We're going to have to be careful with that. Typically... Well, actually, no, there was some buried in the walls of the last bastion, weren't there? So, who knows? I talked about taking this whole thing down layer by layer, but we kind of know what's in the middle of it. And why not just... keep this going, at least for this one. We'll mix it up again soon enough. I definitely want to go see what's underneath those gold blocks. Kind of getting excited for some lunch too. I'm gonna tell you guys straight up, for breakfast this morning, I just had, I got nice cantaloupe. It's kind of that season. We here in Colorado, I don't know where people typically think of when there's peaches. From my experience, you think of really 3 places. Georgia, of course, is top on the peach state, right? they get first billing with all the right reasons. But then I think of Michigan has peaches, and Colorado, Palisade. And last time I went to the store, both peaches and melons were there, all Colorado local, and just looked awesome. And cantaloupe or muskmelon, whichever one you want to call, or whichever variety you grow locally, southeastern Colorado has quite a tradition, I guess. I don't know if you can have a melon culture exactly, but doesn't show us a whole lot. Good to get it out of the way. That was interesting. Let's get a incompatible power mode message or something like that. Hang on. I've learned not to ignore messages while recording. Incompatible power source detected. Your computer will run in reduced performance mode and may not charge. Use of the original power adapter is recommended. The power adapter has never changed, Microsoft, you crazy kids, you. Let's just reset. I don't know what that was all about. Weird, though. Fully charged, 100%, with a power source plugged in. Microsoft, you're crazy sometimes. All right, now that we're here, let's check. We're 21 minutes in. Hopefully no disasters, and at least we know the disk is not filling up. So we're back to good, but that's always a little unsettling. I don't think there's anything I need to do about that. I guess we'll find out, but I hope that doesn't mean like my AC adapter is going bad or anything like that. Anybody ever seen a Microsoft message about your power adapter, the one that came with the laptop, being incompatible? I'm guessing that's like a surge or something, and just in the power supply coming from Excel to us, that they had a weird little flare or flicker or whatever, and the laptop reads that as such, but never like seeing those. That's the kind of stuff that I think gives a lot of people the vibe that when you have equipment, the manufacturers are working against you, not to provide a constantly good product that you purchased, but to make you unsatisfied with it after X amount of time, so you'll go buy the next version of it. And it's one of those things that just makes me frustrated when you have these kind of things like phones. Phones are the ones that drive me absolutely bonkers. And whether it's true or just kind of predictable effect, it certainly has felt like enough times over the last decade that whenever and I've had both. I've had Samsung Android phones and I've had iPhones. As soon as you get beyond like the warranted part, right about the time that a new model is released, you start having issues with your devices. And it's like, we're all gonna buy them, guys, but don't be so obvious about pushing that. They'll wear out. Or are they really spec'd and designed to start absolutely failing that predictably? Are you using like that cheap of a battery or whatever? Like, it very much bothers me that nobody builds to last anymore, and there's no even nod towards quality products. Cars are going the same way, and that's I drive an old truck. I think I've mentioned it enough times here that not a surprise to anybody, but I drive like an old Forerunner, and when I say old, like 20 plus years old. And when I did my road trip here, and a couple times this year, if I'm going to go high miles and that kind of stuff and go on a road trip, I will rent a car, and it works out really, really well. You avoid all the miles on yours. For me, having a big truck with lifted tires, it has a lower fuel economy, so I get something that gets good mileage. When it's just me and I'm not hauling anything, I can go with a small little car that none of these were high performance cars on either of the trips. I think one was a Toyota Corolla and the last one was a Nissan Sentra. Is that what they are? I don't know. but they work out really well. And yeah, it's a little bit expensive, but when you think about all the maintenance that you're gonna have to do, that you're eating up tread on your tires and all that, and when those are large size tires on a truck, none of that is insignificant. So yeah, I love having it. And you get to kind of test drive and play extended test drive on some of these newer cars. And my car, it has a replacement stereo that has like USB and all that, so I can charge and those kind of things out of my radio. But I mean, it's it was a 20th century truck. It's from 1998, so it has definitely different tech than what everybody's on, and I get that, but I kind of hate it at the same time. It's like, we don't need all this stuff to be built into our vehicles. Yeah, it's great to have a flat screen and an entertainment system where you can connect your phone, but if you've got that, then you really don't need, all the satellite radio and all that kind of stuff, which I get. That's older anyway, that's not cutting edge tech. But it's more stuff to break. It's more stuff to have subscription services to, and it's more stuff that they can effectively, with no oversight. I mean, that's why I'm skeptical of the phones and all that. And again, I'm not a luddite. I'm not anti-technology. I love my phone, and I want to get them, but I want to do it on my timeline, right? If I'm not needing a new phone, don't don't force me to make a change that I don't want to do yet when I'm still happy. I won't be, I'll be dissatisfied. I want to catch up soon enough. And don't get me wrong, an old vehicle that I use for primarily off-roading, it's my daily driver because I don't have a commute. But if suddenly I was driving 40 miles to work each day or something like that, or even less, I would very quickly look to get just an around town kind of car, and that I would want to have much more modern stuff than what I've got in the truck. Rear view cameras and all that kind of stuff. I joke, it's like, we've got perfectly good mirrors. People just need to turn in their chair to see what's behind them. They don't need a camera. But, you get them, and it's nice to have all those kinds of things. The one that I kind of struggled with on this trip was the lane departure like this car had you're crossing the line, so I'm going to buzz at you. And it's like, yeah, I'm driving on a highway. I'm, passing things. I don't need that every time, or, whatever. It's good. I like having the safety and all that kind of stuff. I just, I really do think that with nothing out there and no incentive, right? There's, how do politicians get reelected? By saying, look at how good the economy's going. So they're not going to want to slow that down, and we're all addicted to this whole idea that, like, yeah, we all need to pay regularly for new iPhone. The stock of Apple and all that go up. They're expecting us to finance out $1,500 every few years just to have the latest and greatest. And I don't see that ever changing, but it's a little nerve-wracking to know that cars, which are for most of us the second biggest purchase in addition to a home that we'll ever make, get built into that. And it just, it then makes people more willing to just, oh yeah, lease sounds good, right? I'm just going to want to replace it. Here we go. But you're giving away, you're just handing over that money. And yeah, you got a lot less maintenance and stuff to deal with when you do get a lease. But it's certainly not the same as, the 5 grand I paid for my truck in '06 or '07. I put a couple 100,000. Well, no, I haven't put a couple 100,000 miles on it. I put over 100 though on it since that time, and yeah, it's not worth 5 grand at this point, and I put probably five again in maintenance. Probably not counting tires and oil changes and all that kind of stuff, but just like the bigger maintenance stuff over the years. When I got it, I had a couple of the big things done, and now I'm not nearly as fastidious about it because it's an old beat up truck, and I know it's getting towards the end of its days. But it a lease for something that's artificially, well, I don't even know if it's fair to say artificially, but a leasing something that's now just expected to be around 40 grand, and put in a payment that is digestible, but you're going to be on the hook for years. It's crazy. It works for some people, and some people don't care about that value. They just, they kind of look at it as subscription car, and maybe that's what we're all getting to, is just, you subscribe to drive. Oh, that was a lantern. I knew my pick was getting low, and I knew it was still in my hand, but like, why did that just pop? What's our way down here to get said lantern? All right, we got to go get a new tool. We got to clear our pockets, and we've got to figure out which way we're going in that direction. So yeah, again, I don't mean to, sound like it's all bad. It's all. I love some of the new stuff, but it is something that we should all think about a little bit. Like you know, what does that mean when our vehicles are completely dependent on a software program? And, of course, the reason I'm kind of thinking more about it in just today is all the was it the Apple Car or the whatever, the driverless stuff, where it's like, yeah, we uh, now have a bunch of memes about, like, are you going to pay for braking and all that kind of stuff. But the more that those systems are taken out of your hand and completely in the hands of the provider, it's just like an OS or anything else. You become dependent on the updates, and they can force your experience or your behavior based on what's out there. So keep thinking. Okay. Look for holes. And we're going to go up to this edge. This is still just kind of exploratory surgery here a little bit. We just want to keep seeing if there's anything on the edges of these that might otherwise escape our notice. Let's get some more quartz here. Yeah, we'll just try to maintain our 5 or so block distance from whatever the last visible is, and adjust as needed. this may well end up going all the way out. It's going to get pretty loud. We might have to adjust volumes here. We'll see. See how long we have to work before... We have no idea yet how far back those go. But they seem pretty active. That's good. That's why we do this, right? Now, this could be the chance. If this goes back up and was just, like, totally enclosed, that's where we might have... Oh. That's a lot of pigs. But this does seem kind of like a top area, right? That makes me pretty happy. And there's our spawning beginning over in the other part. Should get us back to excitement all the time here pretty quickly. And now we just want to see if we can... that is our new height. Let me turn them down for just a bit. I don't like... doing too much there, but when there's so many of them and we're trying to work kind of independent of actually taking them on yet. The main thing is forgetting that I have any of that turned down, but it's like the Enderman, really, you know. We know they're there. So that's our deal. Personal space, pigman. I need it. Okay, now I think this was as far as we were going. Oh, well, this kind of expands our scope a little bit, slows our layer time quite a bit right now, but we'll get there. Let's go. Conveniently, we're right here. Let's go up and empty. And back into the noise. Oh, you guys are going to be fun to play with. Now, I don't think we had done this side enough to know yet how far we're going. But I think a full 5 is good to go. So I think before my power adapter caused a message and threw me off on a potential rant. Again, don't take that lightheartedly. It's not intended to be overly. You can't ever get an update or anything like that. I do, or I was talking about how I was kind of hungry for lunch when this episode wraps up, which we're getting close to the end of. Because after this past weekend, as I said, I'd gone to some football game and all that, and I did like a brunch with some friends to get down there ahead of kind of game time and beat traffic, have cheap Uber down and all that kind of stuff. Which, by the way, parking at that game, $50. Glad I didn't drive. Makes an Uber feel really, really, really like the right choice. Not to mention, not that we were getting plastered or anything like that, but if you're gonna drive, or if you're gonna have beers and anything like that, be smart. Don't, in that situation, everybody's trying to get somewhere after a game like that. Don't be the one, especially when there's college kids and all that around. They're the ones that are most likely to be pushing it. I don't mean to offend, but again, kids don't have the experience to make some of those best judgments, like, oh, we got to get to the game, so let's just go. We're gonna have to drive, and of course we're gonna, I won't drink much, or I'll stop at the fourth quarter. Like, no, don't do that. Um, anyway, that, at least for now, seems like a good perimeter. And what's kind of our best way to do this? Maybe go down. No, what is that? Gets that side defined. Alright, come down with me. Oh, there's more. Not done yet. Oh, that's what I was saying. That other one was absolutely huge, and we're gonna wrap up this episode here pretty quickly. And probably once we get back to the base, I'll leave things as is for the time being. I don't know if we're gonna have a good chance to crack into that chamber of pigmen or not. Hog, piglin, the ones that are making all the racket. But there's loads to eventually fight and clear down here. And for all of you that are hanging out watching for the thrill of a lost world, it's the holes that, you guys are used to. Well, he's got netherite armor and all that, and so who cares? It's no big deal. But you catch one of those extra things, or once you get into the Blackstone, it's easy to miss that there's a drop off, and then boom, you're in trouble. Let me just save you the effort, bud. You don't want to go up there right now. You want to stay down on here. See how much better that is? Now, it would certainly seem like we are about to pop the top on this little... See? Right there. That could have been... Are we full or full? Don't have many shulkers back, but we're also getting low on time. Well, we've got him here. Let's just do it. Go see if we can get this guy. Oh, I thought I saw him flash over there. That Enderman was on fire. Was that one that I had hit earlier? Alright. Let's check time, because this is... I'm going to get distracted. We got 10 minutes. Let's see if we expose this mass. get some combat. Oh, hold on. First things first. And this is as tedious for me as it is for you guys. I'd rather be clearing the structure instead of doing netherrack. But if we don't do it now, it's going to look all funky at the top, and just one of those that way easier to do when you're up at this level. Ooh, look at that. A little bonus treat. They can happen anywhere. It's really uncommon up this high to have ancient debris like that, but you can find them. We'll go back over and get that quartz too, as long as we're up here. Oh, come on. Again, this is why we're actually here. So, very good little nest of it. That was great. And we got more right here. Yeah, this is a huge payoff. Leave that, because why fill it in and then empty it again, right? I think we can leave all the rest of that, but let's knock this little island down. See what we got. Nothing yet. I remember, just hang back, watch for holes. Usually I like to be right up on here so I'm not dropping anything into lava, but not in this situation. You let whatever those blocks are fall gladly so as not to end up in a nest of even a half dozen of those guys all hitting you at once. It's going to be pretty bad. Throw in a brute and, potentially more. It sounds like more. And it's big time trouble. Now, I don't think we can get lower than this with the time we've got left. All that, because we're going to want to extend this layer out. And I think when we do that, we're going to, why wouldn't we just take this as well and make it the whole original width? So a little bit more digging. But I do want to see if we can find this hole. So we'll go up to the edge here, clearing off this layer, get everything nice and flat, and then expand our outer edge in the next episode. Maybe we'll also see how much shulker room we have left, because pretty well ready to head back and unload everything too. And I think we may do that just to repair, get a sense of how much quartz we have from the stuff back at the base and what we've just gathered here. I always hear them with their bows, and I think that there's one up here drawing on me. Come on. Let's find just... That was that hole from last time. And they sound like they're right here. Well, nothing yet, guys. I hate to be that tease, but I think we're gonna have to go to the next episode. We are already probably over now, but we got a big new perimeter. Like I said, we'll kick out that side and just keep all that uniform. Maybe we drop these stairs too. I mean, we don't need all that edge and can just go up to flush. I don't know. I don't know how that does for our chests. Ooh, there's gold. Let's do an exploratory. Little pillar here. If you want to safely get gold from a mid-pigman in the... my concern here is that we're going to pop like right under the ender chest or something. How does that do? Pretty darn well, I'd say, huh? So we're just going to take this whole thing and leave this as our top. Couldn't have planned it any better, right? Alright, this was our partially filled. Put what we can away in stacks. Alright, and then the rest into here. And we're going to call it good right there, guys. I think the world of y'all for hanging out. I hope you're enjoying. I honestly thought we were going to be in on top of those piglins here, but was not to be. But we've got a lot coming up and a much bigger bastion. I was a little worried that we were just going to have some little puny nub of one, but it seems to be growing out to full size now. So lots more adventure and fun to be had. I think we'll at least try to define that perimeter before we head back, or kick that extra section of wall and clear our stairs. See what that does for our inventory slots, and go from there. So you guys take care of yourselves. Have a good little break. I'm gonna get some lunch and maybe come back for some more. I'm definitely wanting to finish up this trip. So you guys all take care of yourselves and one another. Haven't said that in a while, and I do mean it. There's people out there. We're kind of getting through the pandemic. People are getting back to regular life. But let's not forget, we were so much more aware of it during the pandemic. There's a lot of people out there that get isolated through age, primarily, is what I'm talking about. But you may have neighbors. They may not have a lot of people in it, and you may think of them as being distant, but they just may be waiting for somebody to come up and say hi to them. So. See somebody out there, offer lend them a hand doing something. It's a great way to make a new friend, if nothing else. So I'm going to get out and enjoy a little bit of the day, have some lunch, and come back and see you all in just a bit. Take care. Bye now.